Don't confuse silence with work ethic. I'm a boss making decisions, my first fetish. The verse cherished is perfect, that's a reverse blemish. I dropped it, connected the block, learn Tetris.
This is the Sorry True Podcast. Welcome to the house of. And shout out to the members. Okay, good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. We right back here. It is Thursday, right? Right? Am I screwing up the week? It be moving so fast. Yes, it's Thursday. I got tripped up on a Wednesday or Thursday real quick. But we here. We moving towards the end of the week. We got a bunch of news to catch up with today. Y'all see the thumbnail. I got Rick Ross as the main picture. So we're going to start off with him. Did he cross the line as it pertains to him and 50 Cent, the involving of the kids? We'll go over some of that, and we'll go over some of the history of what happens when, including within hip-hop beef, the kids come in and get involved, okay? What else do we got today? We have talk about the Gilbert Arenas arrest, okay? I want to go over some of the details, why that's even a crime. I had to pull that up and do some homework on that real quick just to see, like, damn, like, is this really something that you need to have a federal case on this man about? So we'll bring up those details, and we'll bring up also his response to being arrested. He was already released, okay? I believe that he posted bond. What else do we have today? We got a little bit more Hulk Hogan talk. I have a conflict. I have a little bit of contradicting information as it pertains to his daughter. All right. So I want to take a look at that because there's a lot of stuff going around on the internet, and we want to try to get it correct as possible, especially when it's, you know, in the name of somebody's passing. And I might even throw in a brief topic related to a person's legacy within that as well. What else do I got? I got Cam Newton responding to Gillie the Kid. We'll take a look at that one. We got a little queso update. We might toss in a couple of little small things in transition. You know how we do. I'll keep my eye on the chat and definitely come to the super chats later on the stream. Let's get working. Let's start off with the main topic here. All right. So Rick Ross, he was asked by a fan if him and 50 are having a real beef. All right. Let's see what his response was here. And then we'll do a little bit of breakdown and reaction to this.
Just released the Maybach Music Rap Arena merch collabo, talking about taking it back to the essence of MCing, battle rapping, so on and so forth. Someone in my DM say, is that what you and 50 Cent doing? Are y'all battle rapping? Is it beef, real beef? Well, I'm going to say this. Beef, it could be complicated, but I done took 50 Cent youngest son, Bruce Leroy, a.k.a. What? I done took him fishing before. And he loved when I do the what noise. You know, I used to see him all the time over there. But I guess one day his mom may have been creating content on Star Island somewhere, and he was walking around on his second lap. I invited him to the back of my crib. I put bread on a fishing pole, cast it. I watched Bruce Leroy catch his first Dover sole. Man, I felt proud. What? Little man, what's up, though? I just released the Maybach Music Rap Arena.
All right, and he has another one. There's two of these joints, right? Let's take a look at the second one that he posted on his gram.
So 50, look, I mentioned your youngest son, Bruce Leroy, me taking him fishing for the first time, watching him catch his first Dover sole. That ain't a snapper. Now, but me and my buddies, we was talking about little man possibly suffering with trauma in the future. And I said, okay, that's something I never thought about, trauma. But if he is suffering from trauma or needs any assistance, I'm going to be here for him. I would love to get him a puppy. What kind of puppy? Chihuahua? All right. A Chihuahua for Bruce Leroy. What? So 50, look, I mentioned your youngest son, Bruce Leroy.
Yo, he's bugging out. Where do I go with this? There's so many places. All right. Clear disrespect. Clear, extreme disrespect. We know what it comes from. It's all stemming from the Diddy trial. That will forever be a big stain on 50 Cent. Your BM, allegedly Daphne Joy, a.k.a. Jane Doe, that was up there talking about all this freak-off activity trying to get RICO charges placed on Diddy, right? it just is what it is. And that being the nemesis of Diddy, the whole beef between Diddy and 50 Cent, and for that trial, for that stuff to come out, it just will always look crazy on 50, right? So they have a child together. The mother does what the mother does, and it is what it is. He's not the only one. I seen a video recently from Benzino. Like, I barely take Benzino serious. Like, I watched his video the other day as this whole little thing of him trying to rag on 50 Cent about the son and everything, and the BM with Diddy. Benzino, we just watched your video of you pretty much getting exposed as telling, and he's just too old for some of the stuff that he's doing. I don't know. Benzino's just like, get out of here, go sit down. You know what I'm saying? Rick Ross, though, I fuck with Rick Ross. I take Rick Ross way more serious when I see him speaking out and going through stuff. Is it a beef? We can go there as well. Yes, it's a beef. Technically, if 50 Cent and Rick Ross cross paths, something's supposed to happen. Money is, they say no bloodshed or money lost. And well, money was lost. Like 50 Cent was sued and had to go through like masking himself with bankruptcy and whatnot behind Rick Ross and Rick Ross's BM. And there was somebody who shed blood, right? Once again, Gunplay, your right-hand man, was jumped backstage by Mike Knox, and you heard Tony Yayo there screaming, yeah, get that nigga, yeah. 50 there throwing punches, all of that in that melee. So all of this has already happened. It is long time ago. 50 just turned 50. Rick Ross is probably somewhere close to 50 years old at this point. A lot of time can heal certain things and make you lose certain energy. But if you cross paths, it's not supposed to be like, hey, how you doing? And shake hands. No, it can go left. Okay. So you factor in now, you guys have taken y'all beef to the internet for 15 years. Okay. You guys haven't seen each other, luckily. Now you want to involve the son. Now, the history of involving 50 Cent's son in things, we've seen how that has gone in the past. Now, I don't think that 50 Cent is going to move a muscle for Marquise now, but this should be a son that he has no issues with, right? If you have beef with Daphne, aka Jane Doe, allegedly the BM of your late or your last or your youngest, that's the mother. You know what I'm saying? Let her and Diddy's freak off shit be they freak off shit, but you should be in love with that little boy. Rick Ross is up here doing the whole, that's a cultural diss. You don't need to do the Bruce Leroy stuff because the kid is half Asian or whatever Daphne is. You don't need to do the cultural diss. Like, some people could call you out for being racist by doing that. Okay, technically. So that was corny as shit, Rick. All right. Another thing about involving the child, you're trying to prove that I'm next to your valuables, your precious things. That's why Daphne is going to get dissed for the rest of her life alongside 50. You're trying to prove I'm next to you. Right. I took your son fishing. That's supposed to be daddy son bonding type of stuff. I put the bread on the hook. I cast it out. We caught his first fish. And then you go into but he might have trauma because of the whole thing with your BM. Right. There's no need for the son to be involved in any of this. And Rick Ross, you know, all this gangster and street background that you have, I'm very surprised that you wouldn't follow that rule of the no kids. Now, they say no women, no kids. It really should be no kids. Ladies, don't get mad at me. You know, the reason why I say really should be no kids, because there's many times for adult women to be involved in shit. Women get active. Women take grown-ass adult women be out here shooting, stabbing, setting niggas up, getting in trouble. They make their disgusting choices and whatnot. We was just talking about the damn chick with DeAndre Ayton that got her ass left out in Turks and Caicos the other day. You want me to just take the position and say, oh, she's a woman, so make sure you don't cross the line and totally protect her? No, fuck her. Leave that bitch dead. Right? We left that stream. Hashtag leave a bitch. Right? So I could understand when it's just like, no, women need to be involved. And Daphne Joy deserves to be attacked for the way that she carried herself as a fucking hoe. She's a hoe. There's no other way to cut it. Your BM50 is a hoe, respectfully. But Rick Ross, why wouldn't you follow the code of leading the son out of it? Why wouldn't you lead a little boy out of it? All right. But anyway, the history of 50 and involving his children. Who remembers? Remember this one? With Slow Bucks on stage while G-Unit and Fab and everybody was performing. Slow Bucks got his chain snatched and got punched on up there on stage. A lot of people are saying he shouldn't have even been on that stage. Like, what was he even doing there? You know, let me leave this on a smaller screen so I'm not in the way of nothing. But remember this footage, y'all? Clearly comes up with the chain right there. Damn. And remember, there was a lot of fallout after this. Is Fab being a friend of Slow Bucks? Should Slow Bucks feel a way about that? How come nobody's turning around while they're performing? 50 Cent is on stage performing right now while his goons is right there running down on Slow Bucks. And this comes from allegedly. I'll say allegedly. This comes from the drama between Slow Bucks. Mayweather did a little bit of it too, right? So you had Slow Bucks, you had Mayweather, you had people taking pictures with 50 Cent's son as a shot at 50 Cent. Now, of course, Marquise at the time, he's allowing 50 Cent's ops to get next to him because they've always had this tumultuous relationship, right? Back then, and of course now, 50 Cent and his older son, the one that looks at fucking exactly like him. So he got a lot of pictures with his ops. He took pictures with Floyd Mayweather. The moment that Floyd Mayweather and 50 started having like their little public rift, right? And so it's like op shit, you know what I'm saying? Op tactics and using the internet and social media to say, I'm next to yours or whatever. It's supposed to be that code of no kids, but y'all used it against 50, and then this was the result of it. And not only was that the result of it, but and that's not, I don't know if I need to say allegedly. 50 Cent himself owned up to it and claimed it. No?
As soon as they pull the dumb shit, and Slow got to get it. Slow got his jaw broke, chain took. You'd be really looking at him funny if you realize the chain is silver. They done spray painted. Nigga that took the shit was so mad he wanted to hurt him for that. He said, look, nigga was like, man, I should go get this nigga for having his fake shit on his neck. I'm like, no, leave him alone. Let him make another move before something happens. And you can tell a nigga pussy. The niggas were running around, fucking with the little niggas, the snows, the young niggas from my hood. Those peewees, those niggas babies that I grew up with. They running to them for support. To the babies. They're not stupid. They're young. They're not stupid. At the end of the day, I put that nigga ass out of business. Yeah. I got on the phone with Mark Echo. Because I made all my money with Mark Echo with you in the clothing. We made to the point we was doing $80 million a year in retail. It sounds like a huge number, that's the number, but 10% of that is the actual money. So while you saying you're doing 80, you're really doing 8, and we splitting it 4 and 4. At the time, the honest God truth, put that on 8. These the niggas just distributing them little Slow Buck shirts and shit like that. So I told the nigga straight up, I said, this nigga making himself my enemy. And if you working with him, you financing him. The other end of this shit. So without me notifying you, you're gonna become my enemy. And all of a sudden you start to see it my way, so they drop them niggas. And you don't see those Slow Buck shirts on sale anymore. That's how it goes.
The reason why I wanted to play the last piece is because remember, beef comes in multiple forms. It's not just physical, right? It doesn't have to be like, oh, we caught you on stage and we punched on you and we took your chain. It could be business as well. 50 Cent clearly there is admitting to him being behind fucking up Slow Bucks' clothing line process and distribution. Right. And I remember the shirts all over the place. I'm not sure if he was the final say all to that shit pretty much going away. But I mean, I'm listening to the guy and some would say, well, this was 50 Cent at his more powerful days. No, 50 Cent's power is still 50 Cent's power. Actually, he could be getting more powerful. Like when you look at the Jay-Z's of the world and the 50 Cents of the world, and before the trial, the Diddy's of the world, they branch out of music. You know, and they start getting into liquor and sports management and trying to build casinos and working alongside the mayors and, you know, bringing the Nets to Brooklyn and deploying these filming studios like 50 and going Tyler Perry mode. These expose them to open up new avenues, new doors, align them with new people, take them higher up. None of these people became billionaires from music. They became billionaires from all these other ventures. Okay, the Jay-Z's, the 50s, I think 50's on his way to being a billionaire, I think they say. But point being, you know, I don't think that 50 Cent now is looking to go box Rick Ross, right? But this is just the type of nature of, all right, press a button if I could stop anything that Rick Ross is involved in. And I'm not saying that Rick Ross is scared of that at all. I don't think that he is. You know, and Rick Ross is a big enough artist. Obviously, he might be the only one to have this level of problems with 50 Cent and not only survive it, right? But still be extremely successful throughout all of it and use it. He promotes himself with it at times. The Ja Rules of the world. Fat Joe was never at this level of artist level to me, but that ended. 50 Cent crushed and stepped on a lot of people, hurt a lot of people's careers, slowed up a lot of people's money, snatched some change, got a couple people hurt. You know what I'm saying? Rick Ross is just like, it is what it is. But it's absolutely the crossing of the line to involve his son. And I just want to remind the Rick Rosses of the world, right? When you involve the kids or when you beef and when you do all this type of stuff towards people's families and everything, just remember you are involving yourself at a certain level. Okay. Our definition of a rat, which I wish everybody would have, but or I shouldn't say they have it, they just don't follow it, is if you involve yourself in something and then it doesn't go your way and then you deal with an authority, right? That's like one of the main definitions of that switch play. You are a rat. Okay. Now, what Slow Bucks did here, seeking legal ramifications behind that chain snatching, by definition, we disagree with it. We disagree with it because you was involving yourself in the stuff. You like taking that picture with 50 Cent's son was not supposed to be a random picture. Everybody in that picture, in my opinion, my humble opinion, knew what they were doing. In my humble opinion, if I'm beefing with you, if we going back and forth, if we dissing each other on the internet and we got issues and you got issues with my people, and then I just happen to pop up in a picture with your son, it's not no coincidence like, hey, we just happened to take. No, you know what you are doing. And that's why 50 Cent in that car said, after the dumb shit, he got his jaw broken, his chain snatched. And then after that, we see you in a press conference with a lawyer.
Slow Bucks walked a straight line. He had the courage and the strength to come here and remind everyone that no matter how rich or powerful some might become, how popular they may be, they still are not above the law. We are going to do justice for Slow Bucks for what was really happening, what was really behind the assault and the theft to a guy that was alone at a celebration. He was jumped by a bunch of guys that had one thing in mind: to try to hurt his brand. They know he's the founder of Slow Bucks, the #1 urban brand on the rise today. And they want to hurt that brand. And they're trying to hurt that brand. And we're going to put an end to that. And we're here. I'm a trademark attorney. I'm a copyright attorney. I fight unfair competition. There is nothing worse than competition where your competitors try to hurt you when you're alone in the public eye with a gang of people that they are with. So this is not good. Slow Bucks stands for unity, for peace, for going to kids in inner city communities and telling them that they can do it too. Earn Slow Bucks money at a steady pace. Thank you all for coming. Anybody have any questions?
I'm just saying, at this time, to my knowledge or public perception, chat, Slow Bucks, anybody, correct me if I'm wrong. This time, Slow Bucks is a street nigga. I don't know if people view him today. I haven't really seen him too much, but in my understanding, he's a street nigga. The only person that should be sitting in that chair right now from a valid position should be a certified, bona fide, tax-paying civilian that has no claim to the streets or to beefing and getting into gangster type of shit or interacting with gangsters, right? 50 Cent at that time is a whole gangster. We put on his jacket. and that shit with his son, and then you up there, and what happened, and then press conference. So Rick Ross, you want to bring in people's children, man? I fuck with Rick. Got all his albums, man. I follow him on Instagram. I think he's very motivational. He's very entertaining, and he drops some out of this world music. I fuck with Rick, but just remember, you want to bring the kids in. You know what I'm saying? If something goes left or don't go your way, I don't want to hear no attorneys come into play. Okay. All right, let's move on to Gilbert Arenas. So Gilbert Arenas was arrested for federal charges related to gambling, and he did respond. But before I get to his response, let's play the actual news clip for anybody that missed it.
Former NBA star Gilbert Arenas has been charged with allegedly running a high-end illegal gambling business out of a Los Angeles mansion where high-stakes poker games are played. Now, Arenas and a half dozen others are scheduled to be arraigned on several charges in Los Angeles. And ABC News' Alex Stone has more for us. Alex?
Kana, yeah, Gilbert Arenas is a big name, former NBA star, played on the Warriors, the Wizards, the Magic, a number of different teams. And these charges coming as a surprise. He's been in the news recently because his son, who is a star USC recruit, was in a Tesla truck crash and was injured in that. So their name has been around. Gilbert Arenas does a number of podcasts and other things now. So he's quite well known even after his NBA time. But what federal prosecutors are alleging is that he has been running this high-level illegal poker operation out of a home in the Encino area of LA, and not just having a couple of buddies come by and play poker, but that this was a very well planned out, well organized operation with 5 other co-conspirators involved in this, including a member of an Israeli transnational crime group, according to federal prosecutors. But they say that this was something where they had hired women who would help out in the operation and give what they call companionship to those who were playing in the game, that they had armed security guards, that they had chefs that were hired for all of these, and that a lot of money was involved. They had security guards to make sure the wrong people weren't getting into all of this. They had a fee, the house charges. So they say this was well organized. All were arrested today. A number of agencies involved. Arenas was arrested today as well, facing charges. And if convicted, everybody involved could get 5 years in federal prison. Kana?
Wow, quite the discovery there, Alex Stoner. Thanks to you.
Oh, we got some stuff to talk about there. But before, let me just play Gilbert Arenas' response to all of this. He posted this on his Instagram. What is this? Is 6 hours ago. Okay. Let me put this on the big screen for y'all. Let's go big screen. Okay.
Me. You better not.
Can't hold me, baby. They can't hold me. Hello.
Free. You better
I'm
not.
down dancing. And he says, they can't hold me, baby. All right. No Chill Gil certified account says, I'm back on the block like it's hot. This ain't got shit to do with me. Just rented the house. Wasn't part of the festivities. Snitching Gil coming soon. Hashtag 51 and 0. I think he told on himself in this caption. Why would you say that, ARP? Okay. So you saw my reactions while we were watching the news clip. And I went like this, especially when they said the word rake. There was a rake involved. Allegedly. I got in the background some information here. Actually, let me bring this up for y'all real quick. And for me, as it pertains to gambling, what is a rake? Okay, in gambling, especially in poker, a rake is the fee taken by the house, casino, or game organizer from the pot or players as a commission for hosting the game. That's the rake. You saw in the news description, the anchor mentioned a rake was involved. Okay. Now, before I say why I think he told on himself in this caption to a degree, you fucking people in social media, I pray I don't trip myself up, man. I really pray I could practice what I preach for the rest of my life, or at least what I learn. All right. I pulled up in the background because we want to separate being able to be at my crib and play poker versus the feds knocking on my fucking door, right? All right. So I looked up, is it illegal to play poker games at your crib? And this was in California. So I also pulled it up by state. Okay. Under California Penal Code, A controlled game such as poker is considered illegal if anyone profits from organizing it, whether via a rake, seat fee, or percentage of winnings. So right there, by law, that's an issue, right? If they're going to have to get to trial and try to prove that there's a rake involved, and they're already reporting that on the news, okay? Let's keep going. However, a private poker game in a home is legal if only invited friends or acquaintances play. The host does not profit from organizing the event. No mandatory entry fees, rakes, or disguises cost like for food are collected. They even on top of disguises. Like, nah, all right, it's not a rake, but give me $5,000 for the food tonight. Nah, they on that. They're not stupid. Why it's illegal to run from your home? You're conducting a controlled game. If you host a game in your home and collect money beyond your own winnings, even under the guise of expenses, this counts as illegal operation of gambling business. Unlicensed operations are forbidden. State regulators require licensing. I don't know if you guys are licensed. Licensing for any gambling enterprise. Hosting unlicensed games in a home violates these provisions. Serious criminal penalties, there's fines, there's mandatory time from all of that. So that's the legal breakdown. We saw the word gate come up. We saw the word masking and guises of expenses. We've seen that, you know, any organizers can't profit, right? Now let me go ahead. Let me go personally. My man Aaron. If you ever heard me on my stream say before, I'll be mad at one of my boy Aaron because he doesn't use his garage and he has a bunch of beautiful cars, right? What's my boy Aaron got? He's got the Mercedes GT. He's got an E-Class in there. He's got a Range. He's got a bunch of stupid ass toys, but his entire garage is gutted. And it's like a miniature casino. Why? Because he used to love to gamble a lot. He used to live in Vegas and Atlantic City and other little casinos that are nearby in whatever state that he's in or whatever. And he enjoys it so much when he bought a big ass crib and he said, fuck it, my driveway is so bad, I just park all the toys out here. I'm just gonna build my own casino in my garage. And people have their little things, right? If you're into sports, you may have a whole sports memorabilia room, right? Like that was his thing. Never invited anybody over to play. He wasted all this money on fucking roulette tables and poker tables and all this shit. And if you ever go to his house right now, his garage looks like an abandoned casino. That's what it looks like. Like they'll host like their food, like if they have company over for dinner or whatever, and they keep their warming plates and shit in there and whatnot. It's an abandoned casino. He never used it. It's a waste. And I get on him every fucking time. Like, you just let like these cars like just get rained on, or what if there's a hailstorm and you don't want your car, these type of cars in the garage. So you can't go knock on his door. He's good, and he's never done it. And I never even thought about it. Like, even if he was doing games, could he get in trouble behind it? So clearly, if he was running a house, if he was taking fees for the seats and running a rake, you know, like that would be an issue. That's totally different than us getting together on a Friday night and say, yo, anybody want to play poker? I got $20. We win this game. Nobody gives a fuck. I got $1,000. I win this game. Nobody gives a fuck. Do you understand how big gambling is? Gambling has to be one of the biggest organized, financially based elements, I would say, not just in the country, in the world, right? And they mentioned somebody from overseas in the news clip, ties to somebody overseas. All right. The casinos are so protected. It's the don't fuck around with type of thing. These sports betting apps that come out, the regulations behind them, the way you can get in trouble behind them. You go out to Vegas and you play around in one of them casinos and see what happens. I'm not talking about Ace breaking your hands with a hammer. You know, this casino movie talk. You know, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like legal drama. Think about horse racing. Think about Think about hedging and the odds in Vegas. Some of our biggest sports analysts and shows will talk about Vegas odds. All right, right now the Chiefs lost the Super Bowl, but they still got them at odds right now for winning the 2026 Super Bowl. It's huge. There's billions and billions and billions of dollars at play. And for something like that, they're not going to let us, the millionaires of the world or the well-established people of the world, bring that into their homes and into our homes and detract from what they got going on. They put some serious laws around this shit. And that's what we just read. So now if we go to Gilbert Arenas and his caption, this is why I say, yo, you might be telling on yourself a little bit. I don't think that this is a good post. I mean, first, the whole trotting down the stairs, they can't hold me. Yeah, I'm out, baby. And then the starting of the caption, I'm back on the block like it's hot. This ain't, well, not that part. But in the video, you display a tad bit of arrogance. I'm not sure how well that plays. You never know who ends up in your jury pool. Somebody be like, oh, look at him. He thinks he's above the law when he got released, and I happen to land in his jury. They have a mental thing against you. There's no need to get on Instagram and show arrogance like, these niggas can't hold me back. There's no need to show that. Even if you feel that way, you don't need to show that. Yet that's almost like a spitting in the face of the law. And they're going to want you behind shit like that. There's no need to do that. You don't parade around in the law's face. Sit down, get off social media. You can feel like that. Fuck these motherfuckers, blah, 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 blah. But posting to the world. So that's the first thing that I had an issue with. But when he puts, this ain't got shit to do with me, just rented the house. What the fuck? You just involved yourself. You just snatched one of your lawyer's defenses. One of your lawyer's defenses could have simply been, I was just a guest. I'm not an There's a big difference between the guests and the organizer. Oh my God. We just read the laws and all that shit, right? The organizers. I don't got nothing to do with with RBE. I just rented the event. I just rented the venue. They're gonna say you're part of organizing it then, right? I put together all the matches. Lawrence and Wayne, they managing a bunch of the 1SK and some of the up and coming matchups. Also organizing travel. Shot over here playing security and doing what he's doing. Ant is the guy running around on the street grabbing the venues and dealing with sponsors. They're gonna say, no, Ant is RBE, did the venue and sponsor coordination. No, he's an organizer, aka a seat seller. Oh, that's a bar, a seat seller. That's a bar. That's a bar. What the fuck kind of caption is this? I just rented the crib. So you snatched that off the table for your defense. I want to know in what world or in what brain you think that from a federal alleged law being broken, that it changes whether you own the house or rent the house. Somebody help me out. Am I missing something? You would be innocent because you rented the place where the alleged illegal gambling is taking place versus I own the crib, and you admit to you renting it? Huh? Yo. So that caption to me was dumb. Gilbert. I know they say he gets himself in trouble here and there, whatever. And I'm not even on his heels like that. You know, I'm not still living in the past or bringing a gun to the locker room and all that type of shit. I'm not in it. That's long. I ain't living in the past, man. I wish the man much success. He's podcasting now. I wish him and his family success. You know, I ain't hating on no man at all. I just think that the video is stupid. I think the caption is even more stupid. And I think the allegations are something that you got to be careful with. And if we came into a video like this thinking like all it is gambling, we just showed the legal reasons and talked about the reasons like, no. It's serious. Don't put yourself, think about, I'll end it like this too. Think about like mafia rings, right? what's some of mafia's hustles? One of the biggest ones is extortion, right? But another big one will always be gambling. All right, you could have Sonny and Bronx Tale and them in the basement rolling dice. You know, the cops would love to break that up. And that's small time, right? You got the movie Casino with Ace. It's a mafia organized skim procedure, right? Get once again ties to gambling. What else from like, let's say, an organized crime standpoint? What was the movie with the one where the two niggas came in with the stocking caps over their face, Killing Them Softly, right? The Killing Them Softly scene with Brad Pitt, and they were robbing the gambling game in the basement, and you had all these mafioso guys sitting around the table, right? The feds or the cops could break that up as well. That's not something that is something that's happening sanctioned. You be hearing about these organized gambling situations. What's another one? The Wire. My shit. The game with Marlo that Omar robbed, right? That's an illegal situation. There's a lot of money. It's organized, it's unlicensed, and there's rakes involved where the organizers are profiting, right? So these are all examples of illegal gambling scenarios. And we're not talking about like me and y'all just sitting down and playing a game and $100 under the table. These are millionaires, which what you're saying, rented properties. And they said that y'all got the girls there. So that's just showing that it's structured and it's organized for an entertainment. They only want that shit in the fucking casinos with the girls walking around offering drinks and shit to keep you sitting there gambling for fucking 10 hours, right? They're saying you got girls. They said you guys had hired security. This ain't no we just playing poker, okay? Let's know, people. Somebody invites you over their crib or these type of situations, you're breaking federal laws. And I'm learning more about that right now as well via Gilbert Arenas. Don't invite me to none of these games. I'm good. All right. Speaking of addressing controversy recently on social media. So last night we covered Shannon Sharpe. He was officially fired from ESPN. And I'll say this as well, people. Keep an eye out. You will see more random lives and more random uploads in the afternoon. I know when we do our lives in the morning, the clips that tend to follow is stuff that was in the live. So everybody has an opportunity to see pretty much all the content that we've done for the day, one way or another. But you will also get things that aren't obviously a part of the live if I then come back and record content later on in the afternoon like I did yesterday for Shannon Sharpe. So keep your notifications on, people. But Shannon Sharpe. So we covered last night that he was officially fired from ESPN. We added up some guesstimates of what that cost him over like a 5-year span. We got to the number of like 50 million. Here is Shannon Sharpe responding now publicly to his firing or the letting go of from ESPN.
To get started, obviously, I'm sure everybody's heard the news by now that I will not be returning to ESPN. I found out this information a little earlier in the week. And really, the only thing that I really ask is like, guys, could we wait until Monday? My brother's going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I really wanted it to be about him, and I wanted it to be about my family. I know this coming out will overshadow everything that he's worked his entire life for. And unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. And so as I told him, as I profusely apologized to him earlier today, he said, bro, stop apologizing. You don't have to apologize. I'm your big bro. I'm going to love you regardless. We all make mistakes. And he says, bro, I love you. So I'm done with this. You're done with it too. Move on. And I really enjoyed my time at ESPN. It gave me an opportunity to bring my audience that saw me really just grow. They saw me, Lakers in 5, and they saw me say all these analogies that my grandparents gave me, and I was able to bring that to ESPN. So I'm very, very grateful for that. But I just wished, of all things, like I said, hey, they did what they felt they needed to do, and I'm at peace with that. But I just wish, guys, this thing could have waited until Monday, because I hate the fact that I'm overshadowing my brother, the first two brothers in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And this is what the headline's going to be for the next couple of days. So, bro, again, I know you told me this, I don't have to apologize, but I'm going to do it one final time tonight, and I won't apologize again. I'm sorry that I upstaged you in this manner. That was never my intent. You've been my hero. You've been my role model from as long as I can remember. And I apologize, and I thank all my fans for supporting me. When I was at ESPN and every place that I've been, be it Club Shay Shay, Nightcap, Undisputed, ESPN. Thank you guys for your support. Now.
Okay. All right. So when he mentions 4 platforms, Club Shay Shay, Nightcap, the joint with Ocho, my bad, y'all, and ESPN, right? So he lost 1. The numbers that we did yesterday was an approximate anywhere from 4 to 6 million per year. They guesstimated his contract at. It's not public, right, for ESPN. Then you add on everything else that also pushes, and that's how we got to the number that we got to. This is, of course, a big loss from losing ESPN. He saw it coming. He did say that he found out earlier this week, so that means that it was never official to him. He probably knew like it was a high potential based on the outcome of his case, and then he agreed to settle. So we can see now him settling his dispute was a personal decision. It wasn't an ESPN decision. It was just like, I have my own career, and whatever's going to happen with ESPN and as well as my other ventures, I think the best decision for me and my legal team right now is to square this shit away, cut this check to this girl, and get the fuck on. Okay. Now, while this video was playing, I pulled up in the background estimated earnings from the other platforms now. And I also double checked to see if he fully independently owns Club Shay Shay. It says he does. Club Shay Shay is a part of Shay Shay Media, which he totally independently owns. That's dope. Dope for him. Now, I took a look at estimated annual revenue from a YouTube standpoint. According to vidIQ statistics, Club Shay Shay averages about 1.1 billion total views and 4 million subscribers, with estimated monthly and ad earnings between 12.5 and 37.4K. So that's a big gap based on what type of month you're having, of course. But that translates to roughly 150,000 to 450,000 per year from YouTube ads alone. That's not what he's making per year from his channel. So hold on. StarStat provides an alternate estimate showing around 5.4 million annual income from YouTube ads based on monthly earning of 450,000. These discrepancies reflect different CPM assumptions and analytic models. Absolutely. So the type of video, how the retention time of the videos, that's one thing that you learn like in the space of battle rap, right? My rap battle video that does 1 million views is way different than your 1 million view 10-minute video talking about some viral news topic on a podcaster's channel, right? Hitman showed a screenshot on Polo's channel, a YouTube check for when he was dropping him versus Geechee and some other YouTube activity within that month, $72,000 he earned that month. Okay. So if Hitman on Bags and Bodies for that particular month that he showed proof of earned 72,000, why the fuck would y'all think that Club Shay Shay for the year is making between 150 to 450? Fuck no. Okay. And it's saying Shannon Sharpe has said that his viral Cat Williams episode alone generated about 6 million. And all of his interviews on Club Shay Shay are huge. That's why a lot of big stars are attracted to his platform. Like, shit, let me come get some of that views and that prestige over there and whatnot. It's a very, very large platform for interviews. So he still has ownership of Club Shay Shay. As long as he can keep that reputation solid, as long as those major guests still want to come through, support him, respect his plight in the situation. I personally do. Let's make that clear. I think he has some dirt on his hands with this chick, but I think he was pretty much set up by this bitch and Tony for the most part. And they got him. They got him badly for whatever they settled, reportedly $23 million. But $6 million for the Cat Williams interview alone. It says Club Shay Shay is a core part of Shay Shay Media, currently negotiating a potential podcast distribution deal exceeding $100 million. That's when we were hearing that $100 million on the table, which would include multiple shows: Nightcap, Club 520, Bubba Dub. I don't even know what Bubba Dub is, and others. So he's developing, or has been developing, under Shay Shay Media, this own shit and enterprise, for lack of better words, under even different brands and names: Club Shay Shay and Bubba Dub and this and that and Nightcap, and so great for Shannon Sharpe that even though he lost ESPN, and even though being on TV, however many times a week he was on that show on ESPN, still pushes a lot of your visibility and your celebrity to these other platforms. So I do think that's a big loss, and it hurts. But these platforms are well established. His brand is very big. And I think this is the type of reputational hit that with time he can continue to get over, including even the type of guests that fuck with him publicly. Anybody that fucks with him privately right now that's on pause, eventually they'll probably come around. It's just like, you hot right now, nigga. Hold on. I don't want to get my shit fucked up. I got an album to put out next month. That's how it goes. It's a reputation thing, which is why ESPN chopped them. Reputation. That's it. Keeping a certain look. Time will continue to heal these type of accusations for him, I believe. You can't get into any more domestic disputes because this was not the alleged first domestic dispute. You gotta stay away from these young chicks. You can't even have any more public of question relationships, period. You just can't. I hope he learned. I mean, if it's $23 million, he just learned a $23 million lesson. Okay? He's never going to trip up like this again. There's no way he does. So these podcasts, and if his network continues to build and possibly even get distribution deals, because if he does his numbers still, those distributors will still be right there to make a dollar with him. And he will continue to make millions a year. So lucky for him. And I'll cap this off like this. This is the result also of having multiple lanes of income and having an expanded portfolio. To think, I just got fired from my job at ESPN, but I'm still making millions per year. Doesn't sound too bad, does it? All right. Let's run over to Hulk Hogan. I want to say this respectfully. It is very, very revealing to me to see how much controversy, back and forth, cultural divide, viral discussion can happen when somebody passes. Now, he had a lot of this while he was alive, but respectfully, you got a lot of people getting in trouble behind his passing. You got a lot of people getting called out. You got a lot of people saying the wrong things, doing the wrong things, and not just Michael Rappaport that we spoke about yesterday. I'm going to get into another example, but let me get into this maybe conflict of news as it pertains to Hulk Hogan's daughter. All right. And let me bring up first the well-respected over here on this channel and from me, D.L. Hughley. All right. This is his reaction to the reports of Hulk Hogan's daughter saying, I don't want nothing to do with the estate. I ain't popping up to the funeral. I'm good on my father. Let's check this out.
So Hogan passed recently, and of course he was a controversial figure. I will say this: wherever Hulk is at, either up or down, he has run his race. So nothing that we can say, we in the land of the living can say can hurt him anymore, but they certainly can hurt his family. And I respect his family saying that this is not the time to remind people he was a racist. But now all members of his family feel that way. Like one of his daughters primarily believes that she doesn't want any money from him. She doesn't want to have anything to do with fighting for the estate, and they didn't speak. Do you know how horrible you got to be to have someone that loves you or that grew up with you not forgive you in death? So it doesn't matter what we say. It doesn't matter what the public at large says. Somebody in his family saying that because he talked about her so bad and said such inflammatory things because she was dating a black man, that so she's calling him a racist. But all of us are remembered by not only the good we did, but the bad. And what you hope is that you've done enough good that it counteracts the other. We're all just like, so when John Lennon passed, John Lennon was such a beloved figure that radio formats all across the country went silent. When Michael Jackson died, who was equally as talented, probably the most talented entertainer that ever lived, they didn't do the same thing. Not because his history wasn't great, not because his legacy wasn't great. It was because of the last thing that happened to him. That's what they remember. They remember the good and the bad. And it's generally the most prominent thing that happened to you. It's the last thing that happened to you. When Kobe Bryant passed and Gayle King asked that question, everybody got upset. But you are remembered for the good you do and the bad. The things that they want to remember and the things that they want to forget. And when someone in your family, your father in particular, especially with a father and a daughter, has said something that you cannot forget or forgive in death, that tells you everything you need to know about the man we're discussing.
Oh, all right. So before I start to get into the possible conflicting reports, let me speak to that. Totally agree with DL there, man. Your legacy and how people talk about you, think about you. It's like the what comes to mind thing. All right. The Kobe Bryant example was so spot on. I remember after he passed, like there was games where they would just stop the clock or certain points that they would want to put up on a board or stop there was so much that they was doing around Kobe Bryant for the NBA. You saw the players on the court during certain memorial moments, players crying, people hurt. And even outside the NBA, just general people felt a lot of hurt and saddened by that news. And it just transcends basketball as well. You know, it shows. And how many times on this channel people do I have to say, I'm not perfect. I'm no angel. None of us are. Neither was Kobe Bryant, right? But when we hear Kobe Bryant's name, do we think about the biggest moment of controversy that he had? There's people in this world that feel a way towards that situation, right? Do our minds go to that? They don't, right? It's just something about the things that you do that's going to make us like forgiven but not forgotten. And Hulk is his biggest controversy on the negative side of his legacy is something that people just could never shake. You just couldn't shake it. The Kobe had issues. This person had issues. People have had drama, but it's drama. Some people have shit that they just can't be shaken, right? And it's amazing that when Hulk passed, and that was worldly news because of who Hulk Hogan is. You guys saw it from me. I said I skipped it. I said I'm not saying a word. I'm leaving it alone. And the Michael Rappaport said, "Oh no! I have a big problem with that. Now let's talk." Right? But as much as I respect and appreciate DL Hughley as a man, I'm not sure if us reporting on his daughter skipping out on potential ties to his financial estate or his funeral, I'm not sure if that's all accurate. And out of respect and out of us being fair and just trying to report on the news as we see it, let's bring up some of that stuff. So I have here, it says in this post, Brooke Hogan requested to be removed from Hulk Hogan's will and wants none of his money after he told her not to date black men, which ruined her relationship. Hulk Hogan made additional racist comments following this incident. Now, because we know that Hulk Hogan was a racist, we can definitely understand the context of this and we can believe the context of this. But now if I want to just be a little bit more thoughtful and say, now this is your daughter. And this is your daughter. And we don't know what type of amends they've made over the years. Would she really go that far as to skip your funeral and not even want a dime from your estate in your passing because you lost a relationship? I'm pretty sure you've had relationships after that, man. Right? I don't know. There's a little bit of question there. So this is the type of stuff that we're all reporting now. Shout out to Raindrops Media. Raindrops Media, for example, has 106,000 followers, right? And then we also just heard what DL Hughley just said. Now, when I go to Page Six Media, another well sought after platform, they're saying something totally different. Check this out.
Hulk Hogan, whose real name was Terry Bollea, died on July 24th at the age of 71, following a cardiac arrest in Clearwater, Florida. A few days later, a TMZ report revealed that Brooke had actually removed herself from the will back in 2023. Around that time, she and her husband, Stephen Oleski, had moved to the Sunshine State to be closer to her ailing father. She was at his side for nearly 25 surgeries before all of a sudden he didn't want her there, according to the expose. That's when Brooke reached out to the family's financial manager to have herself taken out of the will. She felt people close to the wrestling legend were taking advantage of him. Hulk disagreed, and in the end, Brooke opted out to avoid a battle over his millions. Adding to the rift, she also skipped Hulk's September 2023 wedding to his third wife, Sky Daly. Things were reportedly icy for the next 2 years. Brooke will still receive some cash from her dad's life insurance policy, and of course, she's made her own money over the years. Who could forget her 2000s pop diva era? Her famous father's passing, Brooke broke her silence on the alleged estrangement in a statement on Instagram. "My dad's blood runs through my veins, his eyes shine through my children, and our bond has never broken, not even in his final moment. We never had a big fight. My father and I never fought. It was a series of private phone calls no one will ever hear, know, or understand. My father was confiding in me about issues weighing on his heart, both personal and business. I offered to be a life raft in whatever capacity he needed. I told him he had my support." She also posted a montage of family photos over the years, along with this heartfelt message. "My dearest daddy, you are my everything, and I will always be your girl. I am proud to be your daughter, for all the love, light, and goodness you brought into this world. Thank you for choosing me in this lifetime."
Okay, so when I heard him say that just now, I pulled up her Instagram in the background. I said, well, let's go to her actual Instagram just to take a look, just see. So I brought it up, and people are right. People 6 or Page 6, my bad, is correct. So this is Brooke Hogan's Instagram, it appears, verified 582,000 followers. And I believe this is the post that they're talking about. My dad's blood runs through my veins, his eyes shine through my children, etc., etc. He used to remind me, etc., etc. Okay. And this picture of her as a little baby and Hulk Hogan, "You are my everything, and I will always be your girl. I am proud to be your daughter, full of love, etc., 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 etc. Forever, Brooke." Yeah. So, yeah. Look at the pictures going. So the reports. Let's be fair. Shit, we might be the only podcast breaking this. The reports are false that Brooke said, because your racism ruined one of my relationships with a black man, and because of your racist ways, I am not attending your funeral, and I don't want anything to do with your financial estate. That appears to be false reports. It looks here that she's grieving and mourning the loss of her father, as she should be, right? There's a lot of people that, even if you're not on good accord with a family member or a loved one, if they pass, can you let it go? Is that something that you can let go, or at least, be respectful to your family and to your father? I would like to hope so, right? Doesn't mean that all of us, we're not in their family. Hulk Hogan is not our father, so we don't have to take that position. But I understand taking that, and I respect it. Let's talk about this though. Still on the topic, the continued backlash of people getting in trouble behind defending Hulk Hogan publicly continues. So this is one that I saw. Let me get this one on the big screen for y'all. Let's check this out.
"I owe my followers, my community, and all of social media an apology. A few days ago, I reposted an old video of me in the gym wearing a Hulk Hogan Halloween costume on the day that he passed. Last night in my live stream, a lot of people expressed how upset and frustrated they were with me that I had posted that. Instead of listening and understanding like I should have, I became defensive and said that I was posting to celebrate the wrestling icon, the person that so many of us looked up to as kids, that we grew up with, that made us tear our shirts and take our vitamins and say our prayers. I didn't know to the extent of all the horrible things that he had done. Since last night, I have done a lot of research, talked to a few people, and learned all of the horrible, horrible things that that man has done, which is way more than just making a mistake and being human. So because of that, I have taken the videos down, and I apologize to anybody that I offended. I am sorry. Also, during last night's live stream, I used the word colored instead of saying person of color, which is a very outdated, very offensive term. A few moments later, somebody educated me and told me that it wasn't okay to use that, which I immediately apologized to everyone and said I would never do that again. So once again, to anybody that I offended, I am sorry. You know, my whole page, my whole brand is based on holding people accountable and doing better. I would be a hypocrite if I didn't hold myself to the same standards. I am human. I am still growing. I am still learning. And I promise all of you, I will do better. I have nothing but love and kindness in my heart. I will continue to try to make the world a better place. And once again, to everybody, I apologize.
Johnny Swoll, fuck you and your No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. My immediate reaction to this, people. If a man in today's world cannot offer up that type of apology and be accepted, then we can't teach each other as men and even teach children that the way to go about shit is to apologize and give a sincere apology. And we all know that we're still all grown. Nobody knows all. If a man can't do what he just did and that to be received and understood, then where are we as a society? Where are we as far as the shit that we're teaching each other? Apology 1000% accepted. Unless I'm missing something. I don't follow him on social media. But I've seen a lot of his stuff. And every time I've seen him come across my desk, come across my timeline, it's always been positive. It's always been positive. It's always been good messages. It's always been good vibes. He says a lot of stuff that's just like, yo, look at these people in the gym and these women, inaccurately, taking advantage of men in the gym and calling them out and putting them in awkward situations because they're trying to show their ass and record videos. And then when somebody does something, they try to scream that they're being, I see him do that type of stuff. And I'll fuck with every time I've seen his content, from his presentation and his characteristics. And y'all would have to educate me and tell me, no, ARP, Johnny Swoll did something this last year and you missed this. I don't know about that. Y'all would have to educate me. But from what I've seen, anytime he comes across my desk, stand-up guy, good vibes, good energy, and positive. He made a mistake, colored, and the Hulk Hogan picture. And I apologize. I was wrong. I was educated, and I took it down. What the fuck else do we want from the man? I seen captions going around that he is now saying, yo, because of the backlash that I'm getting, fuck it, I'm retiring, I'm out of here. No, keep going, dude. Keep going. If you want to step away from the storm, social media, they'll treat you like that for a week, a month, maybe, whatever. It's okay. Keep doing your content. You're going to have a loyal fan base that sticks through this. Hopefully people like me and people that even listen to my type of opinion, that also remain a follower of you. And time will, no, keep doing your fucking thing, homie. Okay? And this is coming from a black man. Keep doing your fucking thing. Now, beware that some folks will go at this man and say, why does it seem like the white guys that don't know what Hulk Hogan did? Like Michael Rappaport said something similar, right? I didn't know that he had the race. I didn't know he said that. Be on the lookout for that. That might come your direction, and it is a valid question. Okay? I'll give y'all one of the answers as to why that happens. I see who y'all posting from Battle Rap in the chat. But I ain't going that direction right now. Let me tell you one of the reasons why that happens. One of the reasons why that happens is because it's cultural priority. Y'all understand what I mean when I say that? Cultural priority. We are all just so different, man. The ways that we interact with each other culturally and everything, the way that black people interact with black people, the way that white people interact with white people, Asians, Hispanic interact with each other. It's all so different, man. And maybe the Hulk Hogan thing was more black-worthy, prioritized news than it was for the average white household. That's possible. That's possible. That is a real thing. So cultural priority, right? We are on high alert the moment we hear any public figure with a racist comment. And we bounce the information to each other. We tap each other on the shoulders. Yo, Hulk Hogan did this. Yo, boo, boo, boo. Yo, Mel Gibson just said this. Yo, Donald Trump did boo, 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 boo. And we all know. I don't got nothing to do with politics. I don't follow politics in checks and balances. Y'all drop a lot of Donald Trump shit in the chat. Y'all ever see me cover Donald Trump? I don't do politics. I don't really follow politics, right? But I know about some of his shit. It's like the black river of racist information. Like ding, ding, ding. Pay attention, black people. Pay attention. Pay attention. That's us. And y'all have the same thing. You know? So maybe it wasn't prioritized, or maybe it didn't come across you in the nature that it comes across us. Or maybe if you heard about it, it didn't hit home for you because you're not a black man. And that's all understandable. You know, Michael Rappaport just did a course of action that was incorrect because he stood up for Hulk in a form of saying no slander to Hulk. And everybody was like, who are you? And what do you mean? And why would you say that? Right? This man, from what I'm seeing, it wasn't like, hold on, I'm not going to say don't slander him, which is actually an opportunity for you to be responsible, which is what Michael Rappaport should have done unless he's lying to us, and then educate yourself as to why he's getting the slander. This man just said, I put up the picture of Hulk and I got killed for it and I didn't know why, but now they educated me. Okay, my bad. And then while I was addressing it, I said, colored. Shit, I'm a white man. I'm still on eggshells of how to address black people. Am I allowed to say, should I say African-American? Should I say blacks? Should I say black man? Should I say coloreds? Should I say colored people? I don't know, man. Y'all got me on eggshells, man. I'm scared. Somebody told me don't say colored. I got y'all. Here's one. I learned the hard way. My Asian folks could tell me. It came to a point where saying Oriental was a little bit edgy. Or I think today that's like, you can't say that. Like, well, you shouldn't say that. Like, you don't call somebody Oriental. But I grew up as a kid, the corner Chinese store. Am I okay saying Chinese store? Once again, I'm not educated like that in the Asian area. Y'all gotta educate me. But the store said Oriental. Like, I saw store signs that said Oriental growing up. You don't see the word Oriental no more. They'd say it now. Like, no, that's you get in trouble for saying that shit. Oh, educate me. My bad. I grew up with y'all saying that shit. Somebody in the chat put Arab, right? We all dance to the song, getting Arab money. Come to find out, somebody is upset at that. My bad. I apologize as a man. I know all the black rules, but I don't know all the white rules, Asian rules, Hispanic rules. I don't know. I don't know all those rules over there. I'm so tapped in with my people. Duh. So, two mistakes that the man made that are extremely forgivable and extremely understandable. Homie, keep doing your thing, okay? Post this video if you want. If you get a strike, hit me up, DM me. I'll remove the strike for you. Post this fucking video. Here goes this random fucking black guy on the Sorry It's True podcast telling me that I need to keep doing what I'm doing and understanding the mistake that I made and accepting my sincere, very well-spoken apology. you're done, man. It's over. Go. Like I'm the judge right there that's just saying, man, what are you doing here? What? Get out of here. Get out of here. Go back to what you're doing. Real shit, man. Salute to you. All right. Hulk Hogan got hot outside, B. I'll say this now. Like I said when we started this topic before transitioning off. I spoke about legacy. It's the immediate thought. Once again, I gave that example when I was talking about Kobe. Unfortunately for Hulk Hogan, especially with black people, the thought of racism pops up just as strong as the thought of renowned worldwide wrestler. And white folks, stop tripping up on yourself. Just shut up and stop tweeting or stop posting for a second. And understand this point that I'm about to make for you, and then tailor your shit so that you don't step on any fucking toes. I'm going to make it very clear for you. For black people, Hulk Hogan represents a racist in our thoughts, damn near just as much as he represents a world-renowned wrestler. You say the name, and that's the thought that comes. It just is what it is. Okay? Trump has some of that. All right? You say the name, and some of the first things that pops to mind. And this is my legacy topic that I told y'all I would do for y'all. Like when you say my name, I wouldn't want that for me. I wouldn't want that. If 10 years from now, you say ARP from YouTube or from social media, right? I would want the thoughts to be like battle rap league owner, podcaster. And I'm fine with that. That's it. Some people might say, I don't know, educated speaker. I love shit. I'll take that today. Cool guy. I'll take all of that, right? You're gonna find for every 100 people, you're gonna find at least 10 people that got something negative that pops up in their mind, based on how I coincided with their existence, and that's the world. We know that, right? That's how that goes, right? For me to be successful, it detracts from certain people, unfortunately. So I get it. But I would want the general thought never to pop up in somebody's mind like ARP. The moment I hear that name, I think of female abuser. Like, let's say if that ends up being a thought for Diddy. Like the first thing that pops in your mind is the Cassie video, right? Once upon a time, you say Diddy's name, and what pops into your mind is like dancing and shit. like the niggas always in videos dancing and whatnot, and that's cool. And then he could say like, look, y'all think I'm a dancer, but I produced this. My hands was on that. I'm the reason that y'all got met Biggie. I'm the reason for this and that. It's like, ooh, right? And that's unfortunately what is happened to Hulk Hogan. Okay, so if anybody still doesn't understand and you happen to come across this clip, that is the reason why. So be careful of how you mourn. And Hulk Hogan, I'll close out in saying this to be totally clear. Hulk Hogan absolutely deserves to be mourned. It's still rest in peace to Hulk Hogan. He absolutely deserves it. I say that he's done a ton of great in the world, but there is that dark piece of things that is a trigger for either black people or people that appreciate or respect a black person's dealings in the world, especially America, with racism. Okay? That's why when I see marches and protests, or if I see people out in the streets for Black Lives Matter in certain places, I see just as many white people out there as I see black people. Why? Because it's like, I'm not black, but I understand so much. I'm out here with a sign too. That's all we want, Michael Rappaport. That's all we want. All right, let's move on. Cam Newton responded to Gillie, and they're calling it ether. Damn, Gillie, you supposed to be the funnier, the more, you know what I'm saying? Cam might have got y'all. Did y'all see it? Is this just podcast awards? Is that what this is? Might be.
Cam knew that. Jalen Hurts did what you couldn't do. That was win a Super Bowl.
There will not be no playing with my name, with my career. This is all entertainment here.
Hey, shut your tight jean wearing ass up, man. You had on a jersey with a bow tie, you corny ass nigga. You will never be able to with Jalen Hurts, nigga. You super goofy, corny ass nigga.
I know why you in your feelings, Gillie. Was it the album comment? Can you name me one Gillie the Kid album? Did you know his album was Philadelphia?
That kind of struck a nerve.
Where I'm from, Gillie, we stab and we twist. Wise words was told to me. They say, when you go low, I go to hell. So let's bring up your actual facts and your actual stats. When I'm looking at your rap career, Gillie did not chart any solo singles on the Billboard Hot 100. Philadelphia didn't do no numbers? Dang. Former member of Major Figures, bass rap group late 90s and early 2000s. You ain't never been great at nothing. The only great thing that Gillie does, he's a great mascot. Big hat, dancing around, yeah, getting them going. Mascot, very questionable career. We can't relate on a lot of things, Gillie. And if it wasn't for Wallow, all credibility on $1 million worth of game would be really at question because he has a wisdom about him. Wallow, that is. I respect that. And I also respect Gillie. But respectfully, brother, we cannot relate. While you're dancing on the sideline, I was in the game. Please understand, when I said your name, most people didn't know who you were. They said, who, Gillie? Who is that? Man, you know the dude that be walking around with the big old hat. Oh, that dude. Man, don't take him serious. That's the narrative about you, guy. You can't beat me in nothing. And I mean nothing. That's basketball, that's football, that's baseball, that's rock, paper, scissors, that's chess, that's checkers, that's tennis, that's golf. All I'm asking for is respect. But just be mindful how you use and you talk about me. But I'm rooting for you. I'm going to subscribe to $1 million worth of game. I will be looking for your repeated response. And this is my challenge to you. Try to refrain from using the N-word in every sentence. Use your nouns and your verbs and adjectives, brother. Not just every word being a curse word.
Corny ass nigga.
Yo. So I'm going to break this down for y'all. Let me talk about the video first. Cam did fuck him over. Gillie, you my nigga. I'll fuck with Gil, man. I'll fuck $1 million. There's so many clever. That was like a 3-minute response. There's a lot of depth to it, though. Okay, the levels of, let's start here. The levels of you from the field that we met you in versus the field that they met me in. And I'm going to go to some stats in a second. I just pulled them up in the background while the video was playing. I glanced them real quick and I was like, ooh. There's another element in there. He's even digging at Gillie's business on the low. You know, going at the big hat thing. That's a sponsorship that Gillie is doing, right? Gillie's making money off of that. And he takes a shot and trashes it. Now, what if, you know, this type of back and forth got people looking like, you know what? I thought that it was kind of cool or funny to wear those hats. And now I realize how stupid I would look for wearing those hats now that it's getting clowned. That's a dig at your business. That's like those under the cover type of stabs that what if you catch them, you catch them. Like, ooh, you're just playing with my pockets. Okay. There's another one that he did. Divide and conquer. Very, very common war tactic. By saying now Wallow, you know, he's smart and he's this and he's that. You know, trying to maybe make sure Wallow stays out of this. Don't tag up on me. And then also trying to put this. Now let me tie this into the last one when he closes out. When you respond, try to use your nouns, your pronouns, your adjectives, and everything. Stop saying nigga every 5 seconds. You put them in this comedic, ignorant outlook, right? And you even tie that into saying Wallow, like Wallow's has more wisdom about him. He's painting you as somebody that's just stupid and goofy and ignorant and can't speak well when it's time to be at a corporate level. And for where we met you from, you never did no numbers. And it's goofy. Even your sponsorships is goofy. The big ass hat and your mascot. He fucked them over. Now, when I say where we met you, right? I'm kind of ready to use this as like one of my defenses the moment I end up in my first podcast beef, because it always happens. If you do well in any space, you're going to have adversaries. Like it's just somebody feels like somebody's stepping on somebody's toe and it happens, right? Give me 5 years, there will be a big podcast beef, and I'm just going to be like, I told y'all, go all the way back to 2025. I told you it's going to happen sooner or later, right? It happened month 1 for RBE. Like, wait a minute, who are these New York niggas coming up in New York? The fuck? Oh, hell nah. No, hell yes, nigga. See you for the next 10 fucking years. Deal with me. But how we met somebody. So it's like, let's say a podcaster one day comes at little old ARP. Who are you? Sorry is true. Sorry is fake. Sorry is false. What is that? Oh, you got 1,000 view videos and shit. Get the fuck on. That's not how y'all met me. Where I come from, where this channel originates from, where a majority of my following and fan base and legacy, public legacy has been developed from, there's a lot of people in that space that say I'm their favorite. There's a lot of people in that space that say I'm the best at doing it. There's a lot of people in that space that say, even the battlers, some of the biggest battlers in the game, that say, we wish the game belonged and owned by you. There's a lot of people in that space that say, you even retiring is a big fucking problem. You can save, you could do this, you can do that. Even the competitive examples and truth and facts that are out there show how strong you are and were, and you changed the game here, you directed this over there, and you made these people do that, and you made all these people over here get paid, and these contracts, all of this. That's what my presence does, where a lot of people met me from. All right. That book and that timeline says one of the best to ever do it. RBE is somewhere in that sentence. It just depends who you ask. Whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 50, they're in that sentence. Right. But where do we know Cam Newton from? Because this is clearly podcaster world. Where do I know Gillie from? I know they say Gillie was like did a lot of party promotions, all that type of stuff in the city, but I didn't live in Philly. I'm a New Yorker, right? So I knew Gillie from rap. I have the Major Figures album. What was it? The Dutch and the Spade song. One was the cut and one was the crack or the coke. Amazing tracks. I remember Ab Lava and what was it, Bianca and Dutchy and Spade, and like it was a dope, talented group. And I have that album. And I got a shitload of Gillie's mixtapes. So get down on the ground. Get down on the I know Gillie's shit. Did he ever become successful from rap though? No. Now, when we pull up Cam Newton's accolades of where we know him from, I pulled it up in the background. All I typed was, what are Cam Newton's NFL accolades? That's all I typed. Awards and honors. 2015 NFL MVP. An AP Offensive Player of the Year after leading the league with 45 total touchdowns and nearly 100 rating. Named to the PFWA All-NFL Team and All-NFC Team in 2015. NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year in 2011. And selected to the PFWA All-Rookie Team. We need more of that in battle rap. More votes of who's the Rookie of the Year. Rookie of the Year matters, dog. Voted to 3 Pro Bowls, 2011, 2013, 2015. Honored as the Burt Bell Award winner and Best NFL Player ESPY in 2016. His rookie season records: most combined touchdowns, 35, and most combined yards, 4,700, almost 4,800. Ever by a rookie in NFL history. First rookie to throw over 4,000 passing yards while rushing for over 700 yards in a single season. First rookie to do that. First rookie to pass for 400 plus yards in back-to-back games, 422 yards in his debut and 400 plus in his second start. What? These are stats that I didn't know. NFL and franchise records for the Panthers. Holds NFL record for most rushing touchdowns by a quarterback in NFL history, 58. Didn't know that. Franchise leader in passing yards, 28,000 passing touchdowns, 182. Rushing touchdowns, 58. Wins as a QB, 68. 300-yard passing games, 19, and more. Franchise leader. Only QB tied or leading both passing and rushing TD records for the franchise. Holds the NFL record for most games with the least 1 passing and 1 rushing touchdowns, 39 total. Shit's still going. One of the only two players with Peyton Manning to throw for 3,000 plus yards every year across their first 8 seasons. Additional records and achievements. It's a lot. All right, let me do this last one. There's only 4 more. Set most NFC Offensive Player of the Week wins in one season, 5 in 2015, tying Tom Brady's record, the great Tom Brady. NFL's first player with 30 passing touchdowns and 10 rushing TDs in the same season, 2015. Rush for 14 TDs as a rookie, another quarterback record, top career yardage and total touchdowns or touchdown totals in team history, along with consistent 3,000 plus passing yards, yard seasons. In fucking credible. And you don't even remember or realize some of the man's accolades until you put it all in front of you at the same time like that, bulleted. He really can talk with the best of them. As far as like what I did. What? Nigga, hold on. Sit down and let me remind you. That's where we know him from. That's where we know him from. The NFL. I don't even watch his podcast. I catch when there's controversial moments of him. When he had Charleston White up there, I'll check that out. Couple of stuff. Like, I don't follow his podcast week round, right? And I'm pretty sure he's doing well over there on his podcast. His numbers is probably great. It's Cam Newton. But where we know him, where I know him from, I always thought he was a great quarterback. Then I pull up the accolades in summary. It's just like, oh shit, you did that. I wouldn't be petty right now and pull up a list of Gillie's music accolades. I feel like that might be petty right now. So if you guys are just doing the podcast award stuff, which I really believe this is that, yeah, have fun. You know what I'm saying? My platform versus your platform. Y'all do y'all thing. But Cam really has a huge lane to go at where we know Gillie from and his musical background. And Gillie, you know, you're lying to yourself or you're lying to your fans or you're not being real if you're trying to go at the man's NFL career. Now, if all you want to say, especially because you're a Philadelphian, is you'll never be Hurts and he just won a Super Bowl, cool, say that. Back up your Philadelphian quarterback. That's what's up. But you can't discredit this man's NFL career, and that's just being real. And shout out to both of these guys. Shout out to Gillie. Shout out to $1 million worth of game. Shout out to Wallow, and shout out to Cam Newton. But we're gonna do the facts up here, okay? Chill out. Or as much of the facts as possible. All right. Real brief, y'all. This update from the Queso case. So one of his co-defendants, one of 2. We already know what one of them did when they took the stand, took their deal, right? But the second one that's been sitting behind them in all the pictures, right? Let's see what he had to say as far as his opportunity to cooperate.
Mr. Whitaker, have you had enough time to consult with your attorney about whether or not you wish to testify? Yes, ma'am. Has she answered all of your questions to your satisfaction with regard to that issue? Yes, ma'am. Do you need any more time to consult with her about whether or not you wish to testify? Have you made a decision about whether or not you wish to testify? And what decision have you made? You don't want to testify. Has anyone threatened you or coerced you in any way in order to get you to make that decision? Has anyone promised you anything in order to get you to make that decision? Are you making that decision freely, willingly, and voluntarily? Okay. So, Mr. Whitaker, have you had enough time to consult with your attorney?
That man is taking no deal. He is not testifying against Queso. He is not testifying in the trial. Thank you, but no thank you. You involve yourself in the shit. Use a whole street nigga and a gangster. That is really the expectation. ATK Scotty using that beautiful Fifth Amendment right. Zipper mouth closed emoji. Let me check out some of the comments here. Is water thicker than blood? In certain cases, it can be. I will tell y'all that. I feel you take 1,000 years, young nigga. Real always wins. 100. Stay solid, young soldier. 100. What else is this? They're gonna tap his daddy nugget as soon as he get out. Oh man. He wants his name. He wants his reputation, and he wants his responsibility for what he involved himself in. What else can you say? That can't be said for all you street niggas, huh? Oh, by the way, hey, gangsta in battle rap. Hey, street nigga. How many flyers is dude gonna pop up on? You fucking rat. I leave it there. All right. That's a side one. That's only for like me and him. I hope y'all don't know who I'm talking to. That's really just for me and him. All right. Let me come over to some of these supers today. We got Miss Abby in the building. Good morning, love. Says, good day, everyone. Checks and balances. That's right. I appreciate you, Miss Abby. Miss Abby. Our member KX gifted a membership. That was at 5:55 a.m. All right. Do I got to keep saying this on the stream? Am I repeating myself at this point? Be here at the stream starts 6 a.m. Catch some of these early gifts that go out from our members. Dope once again, KX. We got Jay here. She says, Green Team Mommy, is that going to be your official alias? Make up your mind. Be careful because people start calling you this shit. All right. Yeah, but Green Team is definitely in the building. And when the stream started at 6:02 a.m., Jay gifted this membership on the channel. Okay. Appreciate that, love. Lil Monster 609 BCZU gifted a membership. So if you saw yesterday morning stream, this means that you were all coming into the Illuminati Green Team. I'm just putting it out there, hiding in plain sight. You had to be here yesterday to know what I'm talking about. I really gotta stop. All right. Nike's check says Ross talking crazy like 50 wasn't with his kids taking them shopping in real life. Oh, I think I do remember that. That would be an angle of or an additional angle of, hey, you did it to me as far as playing with kids. I mean, I never think, put it this way, I don't think that you're supposed to follow inaccurate codes because somebody else did. You're not supposed to say, I'm a street nigga and I uphold all street codes. But you snitch, so I'm snitching. You're not supposed to do that. It's not supposed to be that. You got to uphold your own parameters. But if 50 did do that in the past, I think I remember that too. Then you just opened up the door for your ops to do it as well. But they both got to stand that, the involving of the kids. Either way, it's not something I'm willing to do. I ain't playing with nobody kids ever. We got Lil Monster 609 BCZU with another gift. This one came out about 6:16 a.m. Got Old Man Law became a new member. You might have caught one of these gifts. Shout out to you. We got Lil Monster once again at 6:35. Put out another gift for y'all. Appreciate you, Lil Monster. KK says ARP, he owns the mansion. He's saying that he just rents it out to people and have no involvement with the renters. So if he owns it, it's even worse. So that would make the caption a lie. But I'd still stand on that before, like with that caption is supposed to do what? Reduce the charges, the perception of whether you broke the law or not because it's rented versus owned. You know, I'm pretty you gotta think about it once again, people. These fucking federal cases. We hear about it when the news breaks. And then we start getting little pieces of these details and some of these headlines and some of the reactions and some of the opinions of people like me. The feds don't just pop up. The news pops up, but not the feds. These people be getting investigated for months and sometimes years. And then the indictments come and these people get arrested. They get processed. Some get bail, some do not. And then the news breaks for us. Like, look what they did with Lil Durk. His indictment hit for the alleged murder for hire in California. And then all of a sudden they unsealed a separate indictment for an alleged murder for hire in Chicago that was a year old. It's just when we found out about it, when it became public, you know, when these people get to court, that's when the docket formalities start, postings to the docket. And then we get more information if it's not publicly sealed and shit like that. They come out, they do captions like Gilbert Arenas. We get more and more talk and understanding. And then we start Googling and figure out what's going on. But the feds know a million things that we don't know yet. Right? So Gilbert coming out and saying, I'm just renting it. The feds is probably like, nigga, we got the mortgage with your name on it already. We got that 6 months ago. And I'm not laughing at Gilbert having to go through this. I'm just saying the reality of how this shit is happening behind us in the shadows. And then everybody finds out. So God knows what they have. Shout out to Jay with the sticker. Showing out for the channel and for the podcast as well. Don being gifted at what time did this one go out? 7:33, y'all. Hope somebody caught that one too. I think that rounds out the supers for today. Shout out to all the members that were in the building. It's too much to scroll to the top, but shout out to Old Man Low. Shout out to Between Rounds TV. Shout out to Gillie Durant. We got J Main in here. Of course, you tried it. Armada is in the building. Cap is here. None available is here. NA is here. Who else we got? We got Sassy. We got a bunch of our members. I can't scroll to the top. It was too much in the chat. We got Jerome Johnson in the building. We already saw Jay here, our member, and our mod. It's Green Team, man. Green Team is kind of crazy. Y'all already saw Don Bean. Green Team is kind of crazy. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. And shout out, let me scroll to the bottom. And let me get to the I see a couple more supers just came in. I'm gonna get to them 1 second. To the general chat, because they'd be like, yo, he only shouts out the members. Clifton Thomas. What Clifton Thomas say? Oh, you're talking to Jay. Okay, I'll skip that one. Thank you, Monty. Appreciate that. What other from the general chat? I got Bane. I love the continuity ARP. Thank you, Bane. I appreciate that. Let me scroll up more through a little bit more general chat. I saw Night Checks right there. I saw more 100 from Night Checks. Try to get sneak one more in real quick and then go back to this last supers that just came in. You got to pull Gillie stats now. I'll save it, man. Let me let Gillie respond. I'll say it because I knew if I would have pulled, I'll fuck with Gillie. If I would have pulled Gillie's stats right there, it would have came off real petty because I know his stats from rap do not match the accolades of Cam Newton's from the NFL. So I would have been truly picking a side right there, so I got to chill out for the moment until Gillie responds. All right, Eagles fans, fall back, chill out. It's not your day. Today's not your day just because we talking about Gillie. Slow down. Chill out, Philly. Y'all see me on my Instagram. I sat in the war zone of you motherfuckers wearing a red jersey. I know what it's like to be around you guys, not just for the game, but I know it's like to be around you guys for a whole weekend. That's one of the dopest things about the Super Bowl is like whatever city is hosting the Super Bowl, it's two gangs in the streets 24/7. Before the game is on Sunday, but you touch down in the city Friday, Saturday, you walking around, you walking back and forth to the diners or eating, or you go ahead into the mall, it's beef in the street. You know what I'm saying? If you got the chain on, the hat on, the t-shirt on, the jersey on, anything, niggas beefing and every second of every step you take, dog. You know what I'm saying? I'm walking, I got my red jersey, somebody passed me, let's go Birds. I'm like, nigga. It be beef. You walk past it, like, take that fucking jersey off. I'm like, fuck you, Eagle. But it be cool though. It be all in fun. And that's the dope thing about Super Bowl atmosphere in the city that's hosting it. But it's up. So I know what it's like to be around you green niggas. All right. Y'all got it. Y'all outnumbered us. I'm saying us like I'm a real Chiefs fan. I was just going for the Chiefs that game. But y'all outnumbered anybody that was going for the red team that day. Y'all had it on lock out there, man. I was walking with an op. One of my boys is a faithful Eagles fan his whole life. We was walking down the street as ops. He's got green on, I got red on. It is what it is. All right. Tim Mack says, not sure if you discussed this. Did you address the UK-US back and forth? It was okay at first, but when it took a weird turn in my opinion. Sorry if you touched. So I haven't, Tim Mack, and I do see the presser and the Joyner Lucas songs going back and forth and all that. I left it alone. If I would have caught like some ether crazy shit, I probably would have did a separate video, like a reaction song, and I would have did that separate because the video would have been unmonetized. Like when I did all the Drake and the Kendrick songs, playing the music will fuck the video up. But I would have did it for the sake of reacting to like, oh, this song got everything on fire. And I didn't catch that vibe on social media. Nothing made me feel like Stop Everything with one of these guys just dropped was a fucking Meet the Grams. I didn't catch that. So I left it alone. I'm looking forward to the whole UK and US, all of that for K-Shine and Shoddy Horror. I think that little beef and some of it started even when Drake was on stage and did that whole, not even where I'm from and not the States, the best rappers out here. We was like, stop pandering, dude. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're really still trying to fight fucking Kendrick's narrative right there on your tour? That was corny, Drake. But it still pushes up this whole thing. And then when you got the press and the Joyner Lucas and all that and blah, blah, blah. So now I want to see Sean and Shoddy because I think that's going to be in their bars. Other than that, I haven't been too crazy about it yet. But shout out to Tim Mack. I'm in the loop. Jay says yes. And Brick Girl. Bricks is in the building always. I'm thinking of more. LOL. So you got Green Tea Mommy. You got Jay. And you got Brick Girl. All right. All right, Brick Girl. Don't let the Feds start investigating that name. All internet gets used during investigation. You guys have already seen. One of our podcasts was in the lawsuit involving Like That. That scared me. That's kind of mega. That's one of the biggest songs to come out over like the last 2 years. Okay, Like That with Metro Boomin, Kendrick Lamar, and Future. There's a lawsuit behind that song. We covered the lawsuit, and they took what I was saying to enforce public opinion of them suing. And we brought up the paperwork. We showed it. I was just like, what the fuck? Why am I in somebody's paperwork? I was scared for a second. And the point I'm making right there is authorities use the entire internet. They were just ChatGPT and Google. So we up here talking about crime the way that we do and lawsuits and all this type of shit. Some of these authorities will continue to come across, as they already have, these videos, and you never know. So that's why I don't want to be calling you Brick Girl too much, Jay. Because if they don't take it a step further and realize that comes from the motto brick by brick, which is even tattooed on me, damn, maybe I'm tripping for having that tattooed. But dude, my lawyer is going to explain that comes from Rare Breed Entertainment. That's a battle rap company. That tattoo on his leg that says brick by brick, he is not a dealer. All right. Aver might say some stupid shit like that though, but that fucking clown is catching strays forever, man. He deserves it for that stupid stunt he pulled. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Don't confuse silence with work ethic. I'm a boss making decisions, my first fetish. The verse cherished is perfect, that's a reverse blemish. I dropped it, connected the block, learn Tetris.
This is the Sorry It's True podcast. Welcome to the house of. And shout out to the members.
Without, I think still got a gun.